warm today. Oh my gosh, I know. I can cool down and share about a frappe. I could even have a frappe with you and tell you what it's all about. It's National Frappe Day. Yeah, still a little warm. So let's get into it. What does frappe mean? How did it come about? And how does that tie into cooling down? So, frappe comes from the French word exactly that, frappe, which means iced, literally translated iced, I-C-E-D, something very cold and specifically a cold beverage. So, when did the frappe come about? How did it come about? There was an international food festival going on in Greece, and I'm going to be showing you what happened there because it was kind of cool. It was in an area called Thessaloniki, which I've actually had the privilege of being at. It's a really cool little province, similar to like our counties here in California. And at this festival, back in 1957, was a gentleman, let me see if I can pronounce his name, Guinness Dietres, who was at this festival representing the Nestle Company. Now, Nestle Cafe Company had just broken ground on their powder form of making hot chocolate for kids, and they were experimenting on how good the powder was and if they were going to put it in packages, if they were going to put it in a jar. So he's at the festival putting together this and showing kids, and then all of a sudden he says, oh my gosh, I'm really tired. I need to go have my coffee break. So off he goes, and he had used so much hot water in doing his little demonstrations, he had no more hot water. So what he decided to do is just this. I'm going to take my Nestle's coffee, since there's no hot water, and back then most travel containers were made out of metal, tin. Then he took a couple of spoonfuls of his Nestle's Cafe powder, and he thought, well, if I don't have hot water, I'll improvise with cold water. So here's some chilled cold water. He put it in his little thing, his little tumbler, and he added some ice cubes, because at that time and in that region, just like out here in the desert region, ice was quite necessary because it was quite warm. So he added a couple ice cubes, and he thought, I'll still get my caffeine. Maybe it'll taste okay, but it's going to be cold. So he literally put it together in this little container, shook it up. For some of you, this looks like a martini thing. And this was our first iced frappe, technically the frappe original from Greece. Well, the Greeks really liked that. Oh, by the way, let's see what it looks like. We'll kind of pour it into a nice little cup here. I've got one right over here. There we go. My Starbucks cup, because Starbucks comes into the picture. So notice, it looks just like brewed coffee, but it's chilled. All right, so the Greeks took this idea, they loved it so much, and they said, you know what? Why don't we mix it up a little bit? And to this mixture, so here's our little mixture, we are going to add milk, and we're also going to add sugar. So the nice frappe from the Greeks, which became very popular in 1957 through the 60s, was this little beverage cold with a little side of sugar, and that became their frappe. From there, exploded. People from Bulgaria started doing different things. From Denmark, they decided that adding to this little thing, believe it or not, hi Carol, the Bulgarians decided to add Coca-Cola and make it even another little trip, which was kind of funny. So, what is the difference between a frappe and a frappuccino? And today is National Frappe Day. So this started to explode. This version started going, and in the 1900s, early 1990s, early 1990s, the National Coffee Connection Company in Massachusetts came up with a recipe that they wanted to label frappuccino. So what is a frappuccino? A frappuccino is nothing more than taking a cappuccino, which is your beverage like this, the coffee with just a little bit of milk foam, but it's hot, and they added, voila, I'm going to my freezer over here, they added milk. Milk in ice cream form, because a milkshake is milk and ice cream. Hence, cappuccino with milk and ice cream became the first frappuccino by the Coffee Connection. Who was onto this? Starbucks was watching back then in the 1990s, and they decided, we're gonna buy the Coffee Connection, we're gonna take it, change the recipe, and voila, in 1994, the Frappuccino. Now, it got bottled, there's all different recipes that Starbucks has come up with, and lots of calories. I know, because unfortunately, I lived on Starbucks lattes and Frappuccinos for a while. And let me tell you, they're delicious, but I'm gonna show you a healthy version today. Yeah, we're gonna finish up this little segment on Frappuccinos with the healthy version. So, a true Frappuccino version, healthy. We're gonna start off with the cold because it's an iced drink. Remember, iced frappe. So I have chilled down some really good coffee, French style. I've chilled it overnight, so it's nice and chilled. I use the best of the best coffee. We talked about this a week or two ago. Mycotoxins completely eliminated. If you don't know what that is, it's mold in the roasting process of a coffee bean. So I like this coffee. So we did that. It's now chilled. I am going to put it into a little mug. I'm going to put in about maybe, just about a little bit more than 2.5 ounces. So I've done that. The next step is that I want to add some ice to it to really chill it down. So we've got our ice cubes here. So we're going to add some ice cubes. Whoops. About 4 usually does it since you've got the chilled coffee. Then we're going to add some more water. Chilled again. Bring it up to just under 8 ounces. Now, here's the healthy version. We don't want milk. We don't want a lot of ice cream, but we want to still have that flavor, the richness, and the nutrients that are lacking in some of these Frappuccinos out on the market. So, my healthy version is you take a really good protein that is like a healthy meal replacement, and I'm going to do the chocolate because you can do vanilla, you can do other flavors. This one I absolutely love. It's a whole blend, organically sourced, and I'm putting in my 2 little scoops, and I'm going to give you a little secret. I always like cinnamon. This is what we did at our restaurant when I had the restaurant, and I love cinnamon, so I put a little bit more than a teaspoon. And we sometimes use a flavored vanilla powder, but I'm gonna just do the chocolate because I love it. And you're now in for a treat because you're gonna hear this little sucker over here. I love this guy. It makes it really quick, but it's nice and loud. So you'll see how quick this guy operates. We'll put it in here, and we are now going to be having our Frappuccino. Here we go. out this top and we are gonna have Frappuccino. Now what's really cool is because this doesn't have the 200 to 400 calories that these guys have. This is going to be less than that, depending on if you split it up with someone. So this whole little guy is just under 200 calories. Look at it, it's so rich. You can have enough for 2 people. Under 200 calories. It's good for you. It's cool. It's refreshing. It's my healthy version of a Frappuccino. So in honor of National Frappe Day, I'm going to challenge you to put in the comments, where have you had a Frappuccino that is outside of the Starbucks realm? Because, hey, look at all these people, the Greeks, the Denmarks, the Massachusetts that came up with this at the Coffee Connection. I'd like to hear where you've had one. Maybe in your own home, let me know. I'm cooling down now. Happy Frappe Day. Take care.